All right. It looks like we're live. And let's see. All right. Awesome. We're online. It is Timeout Tuesday. It is episode 64. So 64th week in a row that I've been doing these quick timeout videos. And, today I wanted to talk about something. I think I titled it Brutal Honesty. Can you handle it? So, just a quick story. So a number of years ago, when I was still working in the financial industry, I had an opportunity to interview for a position in another company. It was actually one of the largest hedge funds located in Connecticut. The name of the company is Bridgewater. It was actually for a position that I was not particularly interested in, and because of the location was in Connecticut, it was in a location that I was not particularly interested in. But the reason why I was so interested in interviewing with this company was that the president of the company, whose name is Ray Dalio, had written this book called Principles, sort of like a manifesto, I guess you might call it, about how he wants his company to run. And it was all based on this principle of brutal honesty, that anybody in the company had the right to tell anybody else in the company that what they were doing was not correct. It was that they made a mistake, that it should be done differently. And this really held true in this particular company at all levels. So somebody on the maintenance staff had every right to call out the president of the company. Now, they had to have some basis for it, and they had to have some meat behind their accusation or whatever it is that you may want to call it. But essentially, they had the right to basically pull this guy into a room, sit him down or her down, and in front of a board of people, kind of grill them to try to come to some type of a resolution. And so the whole culture of this company was based on this principle of brutal honesty. And I just found it so intriguing that I had to read the book, which I wanted to do before interviewing with them, and see what the interview process was like. The book was very interesting to me because honesty is a really important topic. We talk about it all the time in the karate school. In fact, it's our second dojo kun, is to keep an honest and sincere way. And so it's one of the things that we want to talk about with the children. And, as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about this week, and as we were getting closer to testing, some things kind of started, coming together. And one of the things that came together was that throughout the course of the weeks leading up to testing, students come up to me all the time and they'll say to me, am I ready for testing? Or sometimes a parent will ask me, is my child ready for testing? And depending on when they ask, if they ask during a class, when I have an opportunity to look at them, I get a chance to say, well, show me some of your stuff. But sometimes it's off the floor and they'll just say, hey, am I ready for my test? And I'll ask them a couple of questions. I'll say to them, hey, do you know letter, do you know A? Do you know B? Do you know C? And I'll get answers sometimes all across the board. Sometimes I get answers, yep, I know everything, I'm good to go. So I say to them, then what's the answer to your question? If you know all your material, then you just ask me a question, am I ready for testing? And the answer is, I'm ready for testing, right? In other cases, I get answers like, no, I don't know that yet, or I'm still learning that, or I'm having trouble with it. And then I respond back to them with a similar question. So then based on what you're telling me, what do you think the answer to your question? Are you ready for testing? And part of the reason why I do that is I want them to start coming to their own conclusions. I want them to learn how to be brutally honest with themselves first. Are you in fact ready for testing? Well, you should know whether or not you know your material. And so that's part of how we teach our kids to sort of prepare for being realistic with their own skill set. But another thing that we work on, and this usually, we work on this really from day one of a student's time with us, is perhaps certain behavior modifications. And, when kids come into the martial arts school, sometimes they may not be ready for some of the structure or protocols that we have, or the order of operations that we need to operate in, and certainly some of the behaviors that we expect, whether it has to do strictly with courtesy or just regular behaviors, listening to people when they speak, not fidgeting when someone's speaking, in front of a class, not interrupting, things like that, basic courtesy things. And some kids are not really exercising those behaviors, and we believe that it's incumbent upon us to bring it up to them, to be brutally honest with them, of course, in a very polite and respectful way, to remind them that the behaviors that they're exhibiting may or may not be the ones that we're looking for. Now, sometimes in the very beginning when a student comes in and they get criticized either for their behavior or even for doing something physical, that's not the correct way to stand, that's not the correct way to execute that kick. The kids don't accept that criticism very well, and sometimes it can even upset them. And that's not to say that the criticism wasn't delivered in a friendly way. They just don't like being criticized. But we definitely believe that it's incumbent upon us to teach kids that they should be embracing criticism, that is in fact how we get better at things. If we're told constantly that everything we're doing is perfect, that we can't possibly make a mistake, that we're beyond reproach, we're going to have this false sense of security that in certain cases, such as self-defense, can be a very dangerous thing. I don't want to tell anybody that they're executing something accurately if in fact I think that they can get injured trying to do that in a real-world situation. So we have to be brutally honest with them, and we have to try to teach our kids to embrace that type of criticism. So, that's something that we see a little bit more of as we come towards testing. Because we're criticizing a lot. We're telling people a lot that they need to work on this part, or they need to improve this, or at their level they should be able to now do something at this level of proficiency. So anyway, the theme today is to embrace criticism, welcome it. In fact, ask for it. You want people to tell you that you're doing things incorrectly. You want people to tell you that your behavior may not be consistent with the way people around you expect you to behave. We used to say that, a good friend is the person that tells you you've got a booger in your nose or, mustard on your face. That's a good friend, and rather than letting you walk around like that all day. Well, the same thing holds true when it comes to martial arts or teaching really anything of any value. If you really want to get good at it, then you need to hear when you're doing it incorrectly. And you want to, of course, hear when you've moved from incorrect to correct. So, anyway, that's it for today. We've got a really, really busy couple of weeks on the agenda right now. We just finished an amazing parent night out. We have another one coming up on the 13th of April. So, these are just awesome events. The kids have a blast. Parents get to go out at night. We love them. It's really a lot of fun. The kids get to socialize. It's a really good experience for everybody. We've got our next test coming up on April 6th. We've got a women's self-defense, our 3-hour women's self-defense course on April 13th. That's a Saturday afternoon, I believe. We still have a few spots left for that, so you can still sign up for that. That's an amazing class. People always walk away feeling like they've been empowered with that. And other than that, we have summer camps that we've announced. So we have 4 weeks of summer camps that we're booking for right now. And I'm sure if I thought for 3 more seconds, there'd be a bunch of other things. Today, we actually have a double-header open floor night. So we're combining our all-rank class and our black belt club class. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. You can come whenever you want. You can leave whenever you want. But it is a class designed to help tune you up for the upcoming test. So definitely take advantage of this time. We'll have instructors on the floor ready to help anybody out and just kind of keep cleaning you up. But come in ready to accept some criticism. That's it for today. I hope everyone makes it a fantastic day today. Peace.